Hi, welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor and I am your host, and I am not God. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of a microphone, hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotional podcast to help you see divinity in every day. Last week, no, it was still this week. Oh my gosh, this week has been really long. A few days ago, I had the opportunity to kind of host a dinner for my church community. I'm the leader of the women's group in my congregation. And we have an annual holiday dinner. And the whole point, this is our second annual since I've been in charge. And the whole point of it for me is to give the women an opportunity to come and be served, because I know they're the ones carrying so much of the load in the next few months. You know, the magic makers, the moms, the women, that's always true of women, but I just know November, December, it's rigorous. There's a lot. There's a lot that's being asked of all of them, and they're carrying a lot, and I just want them to have one night before we go into that season where they just feel like they're served and they're celebrated. So we get it catered, and I try to make it like a special night for them. And I have a tendency to be a little extra and go a little overboard. And not just at this dinner, but just like in life. I just like stuff to be beautiful, and I like stuff to be special. And for a while in my life, I think that was driven, that desire to go above and beyond and to have things be really over the top was more from a motivation of wanting people to think that I was great, wanting people to be in awe of me. And so then I went through a season. I told you every episode's going to be about a season. I'm going to say that every day this week. But then I went through a season of simplifying where I really learned how to cut back and to do things very simply and not with all of the bells and whistles, and to not go overboard. I don't know. It was definitely a season of simplifying and a season of simplification. And in that season, it was really important for me to learn that I still had worth and value, and that things could be good enough even if they were simple. And it was really important for me to learn that. But now I'm back in a place where it's the same action, but from a very different motivation. We're going to do a whole other episode on this, but I had to go to England for work, and I got back, and then I had to turn around this dinner very quickly. And then I've had to do, anyway, it's been a crazy week. Who cares? But I kind of like stopped and questioned, because I'm like, you're doing a lot of extra work that isn't necessarily necessary. So is this actually what you want to do? Because you could just use paper plates and you could just do bare minimum, and we could have this dinner. And like, do you really need chargers and cloth napkins and candlesticks and a gift for everyone? Like, do you actually need this? So I took pause, because I don't like to make my life harder just for fun. And I wanted to check my motivation. And really, what the season of simplifying did for me, it removed all of my not so great motives for these things that I would do. It showed me that I don't have to go so big in order to earn my worth or to make people think I'm great. And I actually don't have to control people's perception of me at all. So I learned a lot. It was a really important time for me to learn there is safety in simplicity. Like, it's safe to go simple. I'll still be lovable. I'll still have value. I can even still achieve great outcomes with simplification. But now that I'm not chasing validation and I'm not chasing praise, I realized that for me, despite the busy week and the chaos and the restrictions and the limited resources, it was really, really important for me to find a way to make the tables beautiful, the food good, to give them a gift, to try to make this night as beautiful as possible. And I realized that my motivations now for wanting to make this as beautiful and as special as I possibly could had nothing to do with people's perceptions of me or my worth or chasing any type of validation or praise. And instead, it was 100% because I wanted these women to feel loved and celebrated and special. And I realized that making things beautiful and making things special really is an act of love. And it really can make people feel seen and loved and unique and special and celebrated. And those are the things that matter to me. I have been criticized, and I have seen a lot of other women criticized for being extra or going over the top or doing all these unnecessary things. And why don't we just simplify? And I see the conversation there, because again, if you're doing it because you're chasing worth or validation or just praise, or like being enough, I think it's a dangerous game that you'll never reach. You'll never reach a destination that way, and it will never be enough. But instead, when your motivation is to help people feel loved and special and seen, I think it's worth the effort. And the thing is, our gifts, like our pull to make things beautiful and special, I believe is divinely given. And I know not everyone has it. I think it's something that some of us are pulled to and some of us are not. And I'm not pulled to it in every phase, like every area of my life. Like there are plenty of things that are not beautiful in my life, and that there's times that I don't put the effort in and times when I do. But when you think about a God who created the earth, the most beautiful, I mean, think about the beauty of the earth. Think about flowers. Think about sunsets. Think about fall leaves. Think about all of the beautiful things that are on our earth and surrounding us. If those were all created by God, you can't tell me that God doesn't believe in the value of making things beautiful. I don't know how the earth was created. I don't know how any of this went, but I'm positive it didn't need to be as beautiful as it is. It didn't need to be as a complex. I'm sure there was a simplified plan of just kind of like desolate, plain, simple that would have gotten the job done. But instead, there are flowers of every kind. There are beautiful animals. There are sunsets. There are skies. There are oceans. There is no end to discovering the beauty of our earth that was created by God. And so you just can't tell me that that same God doesn't value effort in creating beauty with intention, specifically to help people feel a certain way. Is there anything more indulgent than a beautiful landscape and being in it, being really in it? There's nothing better to me. There's nothing better to me than that. And I think that it is a gift from God, these creations and the beauty. And to me, as silly as it might sound, setting a beautiful table for people is a little bit of that same family of creation, of using my resources, my capacity, my skills, my talents, my energy to curate and create something beautiful to help someone else feel seen and special. To me, there's nothing more divine than that. That is the divinity of creation. And I think there's so much value in putting in a little bit of extra work, a little bit of extra effort to make something beautiful in an effort to make someone else feel special and noticed and seen. And I'm not, like I said, I went through a whole season of simplifying when I really did the bare minimum and learned the value of simple and learned the value of not needing to prove anything, and that bare minimum is actually enough. I needed to walk through that. But now I'm back in a place where I just think the effort with the goal of helping someone else feel seen and special and celebrated is a really divine use of our creativity and our energy and our capacity and our resources. And so I will forever fight for the value of being extra and being over the top and all of the frills that we supposedly don't need. But man, they're beautiful. And beauty makes people feel a type of way. And how grateful am I that God created the earth in an extra way? The earth is extra. If you feel called to it, if you feel pulled to it, don't let it be shamed out of you. If you want to go above and beyond with the tablescape, if you want to put on all the bells and whistles, I would only take pause to check your motivation, to make sure you're not doing it to prove your worth, prove your value, or validation, or to control people's perceptions of you. But once those things are off the table, go all in, man. Make it beautiful. Be extra. Go over the top, because it makes people feel special and seen. And I think that's really one of the only goals of humanity, is how we can help each other feel special and seen and become channels for God's love, one person to another. I don't know. Put it in your pipe. Put it in your pipe. Smoke it. Set it on your table. I don't know. Love you so much. Bye.